How you doing? How you doing? It's Chris the Method Man. And today we have Mr. Corey from OSMG Sports Agency. Man, it's a blessing. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you so much, Chris, for having me. It's definitely a pleasure being with you, Mr. Method Man. I'm definitely excited. I was glad to get the invite in our DM.
Okay, so how did you start the business with your friend Will? Like how did you come up with OSMG?
Great question. So both Will and I are from the same hometown.
Oh wow.
Both born and raised in Orange, Texas. We went to two separate high schools. His high school, West Orange Stark High School, was like a football powerhouse. My school, Little Cypress, was kind of more of the academic and band place. But
Mm.
we were in this literally within 5 minutes of each other, and we went our whole life without knowing each other. So
Oh
what
wow.
happened? My dad, we were at a family reunion and my dad was mentioning something to one of his church friends. He's like, "Oh, my nephew Will, he's taking the exam in Washington D.C. as well." So and he said, "Well, they should link up," and so. The rest is history. I mean, we linked up started linking up as far as studying for the NFLPA exam. And then we finally met in person at the at in Washington, and now 12 years later, here we are with Overtime Sports Management Group, and Will and I, we came across we wanted to kind of convey something that would be of going the extra distance, so we kept thinking, okay, well, do we want to just do, just going the extra distance, or so both of us, I'm not sure who actually came up with the final name Overtime, but Overtime Sports Management Group was born out of it, and our motto is going the extra distance for our clients. So we want to make sure we're doing everything we can on and off the field to look out for our guys.
Wow. Man, so what a story. It's like a blessing in disguise though, man.
It is, and
Yeah.
and God has a plan. I mean, literally, like
Yeah.
I said, Will and I hadn't even met each other before that time, and then we instantly met, and we have complementary personalities to where we work very well together, and it's been a great partnership over these 12 years.
Oh wow. That's amazing. So how can we know more about this black owned business?
Great question. So we have our Instagram, which is OSMG LLC. Most of the time, you'll find myself, Will, and other members of our company. We actually have 5 NFLPA certified agents under our belt,
Oh wow.
NFLPA certified, and then we also have one agent, Shane Williams, who is dual certified. He's not only certified with the NFL, but he's also certified with the National Basketball Players Association. So
Oh wow.
he can negotiate NBA contracts for guys going from college to the NBA. So, and at some point, we also anticipate adding on. Major League Baseball as well. So we are a growing agency. All 5 of our NFLPA certified agents are African American, but we are looking to expand the brand. Yeah, so that there we go, Method Man. So, but
Yeah.
yeah, we just really just take pride in what we do, and I think it shows in our social media profile.
Okay. So I'll tell you this. Well, I'm a student at Southern University. But they were having like I guess like a Q&A or a workshop for a sports agency. And I think it's like February 5th, but I'm going to go check it out.
I think you should. I think you should, Chris. I mean, one thing I always say with any kind of business, I still also have my federal government job. My business partner, he's a VP of Ecolab, so we still keep our full time federal job and his full time private sector job. But it's always good to be able to have another stream of income coming in.
Yeah.
And with our agency, this is it's a great stream. We have 6 active NFL guys guys, and we're looking to continue to expand in the 2022 NFL draft. We signed about 13 guys in this draft, so hopefully a good amount of those are going to get placed. And then we have some guys that are going to put their name in that are free agents right now. They're going to put their name in the USFL. I'm not sure if you knew that
Yeah,
coming around.
I know the United Football League. Yeah,
Yeah. So you're
yeah,
well aware.
rebranded. Yeah,
Yeah, so there's a lot of opportunities out there for the guys, and we really, take pride in making sure that every guy is getting an opportunity to get to the level of the NFL. But the one thing we've also realized is that everyone's level to get to the NFL is not the same. Some have to go through arena league. Some go straight, make a 53-man roster out the gut. Some, may be out 2 or 3 years and have to do another league like USFL to get film. So you just never know what a player's route's going to be to the NFL. But as long as our guys are working, we're going to continue to push forward the effort to keep their name circulating in NFL circles.
Oh wow! So I don't know about the league, Mr. Corey, but there's a league called the X League, and it's in Japan. And they also have this this German league, European German league in Germany, and I've been looking at it for like a while now, and you got some good players.
They do. In fact, we actually had one of our players, Method Man, that was actually in Germany. He won the German Football League championship. Devwar Whaley.
Oh, wow.
He actually had a very short stint with the Cincinnati Bengals in 2020. Then he got released right before because at that time, because we were heavy in COVID, they had to make the change to go from 90 to 80 players to report to camp, and he was one of those 10 players that actually participated in the all-season training activities. And then unfortunately they had to cut the rosters down just so they wanted to meet COVID requirements. So we ended up getting cut there, and then we tried to find another opportunity, but the German Football League opportunity came up, and he came out and did extremely well. He averaged almost 9-10 yards a carry, got good film.
Oh, wow.
And hopefully that's going to carry him and get him a USFL shot as well.
Yeah. I mean, hey, if I was an athlete, man, and then God gave me an opportunity to play in some professional league, I'm gonna take it.
Exactly. Because you never know what path you're gonna have, and doors can be open from arena league to USFL, CFL. You just if you're an aspiring athlete trying to get to the NFL, realize that there's multiple ways to get there. It's not just through college athletics, but if you get beyond that college athletic window, you do have to do something pretty special. So standing out at USFL, standing out in the CFL, but you have that opportunity to get seen by NFL teams.
Yeah. Okay. So what process do you and Will have obtaining a college athlete just coming out of college and into the draft?
Another outstanding question, Method Man. So one of the biggest things that we've been able to do in this 12 years is cultivate great relationships with NFL scouting personnel. Our first year, we signed guys from Grambling State. We signed guys from Stephen F. Austin State, North Texas. Although the North Texas kid, he lasted 10 years. But the most valuable portion of that was meeting with those scouts at the pro days, and now having that relationship built for now over 12 years. In fact, one of them, Steve Kazor, I actually, that was my first. He was the first scout to sign one of my players. Now I actually represent him, and he's a USFL director of football administration. So, so we also represent coaches, scouts, different things like that. So, so we've been blessed in having relationships. So a lot of times let's say I may reach out to one of my Cowboy scouts and say, hey, what do you think about this particular kid? So I'll give him the kid, this is, Devon Brown from Winona State. Hey, what do you think about this guy? And he'll say, oh, okay, he's a PFA, and PFA means for priority free agent. So most likely that means that the kid may not be drafted, but he probably will get a nice signing bonus after the draft if he happens to go undrafted. And of course, most of the league is built of undrafted free agents that end up making 53-man rosters
Yeah.
because the draft pool is only so big. You only get 256 or 254 picks to make. So, amongst all 32 teams. So being on a roster as an undrafted free agent is not a bad opportunity. You just have to work harder to get on that 53-man roster.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, a lot of players like Julian Edelman, even Tom Brady,
Yeah.
a lot of people doubted him, um, not in shape, 6th round pick, but then it's like he proved everybody wrong. He became a 7th round pick. So it's like it doesn't matter like what draft I guess you go into or what round you go into. Like it just matters how much you want it, like how much dog you have in you.
That's it. That's it. And some players, they get that first round grade, and then they are they're out of the league in 3 years or less. Look, I mean, God forbid. I mean, look at Damon Arnett. I mean, he was on the Raiders' first round draft pick last year. Now he's signed a futures contract as a fringe player who might make a 53. And God forbid also Henry Ruggs. I mean, first round draft pick. He might spend his next 15 to 20 years in prison.
Yeah.
So nothing is ever guaranteed. And that's the one thing we try to preach to all of our guys is like, look, wherever you are, first round, undrafted, 5th round, 6th round, work.
Yeah.
Put the work in and you'll be seen. You'll get the opportunities.
Yeah. And I think also Matt Leinart,
Yeah,
he was
yeah.
yeah.
Another one. Yeah. I mean, that didn't last. I mean, had high expectations. Well, I think he
Yeah.
lasted 4 or 5 years and, you
Yeah.
know, so
Gave
that
him
that's,
like yeah.
that's kind of a commonplace thing.
Yeah, man. So does wait, how you pronounce it? The business?
It's Overtime Sports Management Group LLC.
Okay, so with Overtime Sports Management Group, like do you obtain football players or it can be other athletes, in other areas?
Now with the name, image, and likeness deals, we have come across some very interesting clientele. In fact, we were approached by a female gymnast from University of
Wow.
Arkansas. We've been approached by women's soccer. And the thing is, the name, image, and likeness is definitely well overdue for the NCAA athletics. Guys and I mean men and women sacrificing their body, their time from studying to be able to put to be great at their sport. Now that they get a little bit of recognition financially, most of the name, image, likeness deals are product based, but still, it is an opportunity for them to get something of value for what they're doing on and off the court, on and off the field, on and off the gymnast floor, whatever may be the case. So NIL is definitely something that I'm big on, and we are always looking for opportunities for any of those, kind of the non-football. So any opportunities we can create off the field for them, we're definitely open to that.
Okay. So do you think NIL deals like help, I guess, college athletes get money, or you think it kind of damaged it?
Well, so it's a two-part thing. So it helped and it hurt. So here's how it hurt.
Mhm.
So teams that were a part of the power conferences, like Alabama's, the Clemson's, the Ohio States, Trey Young actually was one of those ones. He led Alabama to the national championship, but he also had, almost $1 million in name, image, and likeness deals. So he definitely went beyond the parameters of an actual amateur athlete getting over $1 million in deals. He played very well and he didn't make any business decisions on the field. He won the Heisman. But what you're going to find is teams that go to the Alabamas, the Clemsons, the Ohio States. Those are going to be guys that probably going to get more name, image, and likeness deals. Whereas the small school guys like North Texas, Winona State,
Southern.
you know, they're not going to get, millions of dollars coming down, knocking down their door for opportunities. A lot of times for them, it's just mainly going to be just an opportunity to get some product, maybe some protein shakes, free food at a restaurant, different things
Yeah.
like that. So it's the levels to it is definitely different in that regard.
Hmm. Okay, I got you. So, when did you know that you wanted to be a sports agency? Like you told your parents, "Mom, pops, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna put my mind to it. I'm gonna pray on it." So, like, when was that moment that you had?
Method Man, since I was a preteen, I've always wanted to be an NFL agent. I still remember whenever I was, I guess I was about 12 or 11, and when Shaq signed his, let's see, it was 1992, I believe, and when Shaq signed his first contract, and I asked my mom, well, who's that guy sitting next to, Shaq, smiling and cheesing, and she's like, I think that's his attorney or something like that. He's the one that negotiates contracts. And I was like, I told my mom, I think I want to be that one day. I want to be that attorney. So my route went through law school. A lot of people don't
Oh, wow.
realize is that you can actually get a master's and take the NFLPA exam. You don't have to have a law degree. In fact, we've had, medical doctors end up being NFLPA certified. So it's a great opportunity, and for me, I don't feel like I work at all, Chris. I mean, my thing is whenever I'm doing what I'm doing at the NFLPA this past weekend in Los Angeles, and then tomorrow I'm heading to Vegas.
Oh, wow.
I never feel like we're really working, because when you're pursuing your passion,
Yeah.
it never feels like you're actually working. It's some long days, some long nights, whatever may
Yeah.
be the case. But when you love what you do, it's pretty outstanding. It shows with the way we treat our guys.
Yeah. I mean, hey, like anything that you do, like with this podcast, like like you might second guess yourself sometimes, but then like when you think back, man, I love doing this, you know?
That's right. And you're a
Yeah.
great host. Great questions. No,
Yeah.
I'm loving it. I'm loving it.
Yeah. Appreciate it, man. So who is your inspiration just in
That's
life?
another great question, Method Man. So, I would probably say my biggest inspiration has been my brother. My brother, he actually has three dental practices that he owns. So, for his business acumen, I would say he's definitely been a big inspiration for me. But, my mom and dad, they also sacrificed a lot for my brother and I. So, always my mom and dad are going to be a big inspiration, and everything that I do. They're also, our biggest supporters. So I'm big on family, and I think the guys that we sign and bring into our family, we try to treat them the same way that my brother and I were raised, is to take them under and really treat them like family, and not just a contract.
Okay. So was there any like athlete that gave you a hard time? Right.
Yeah. When you're in this business for 12 years, Chris, you're gonna have some guys that are some issues. So I will say my biggest one, I had a client, I guess it's my 2012 NFL draft class. And he actually came as a direct referral from my friend Steve Kazor with the Rams. The Rams were already going to sign him. Literally, he had nothing. As long as he kind of just did decently well at Pro Day, they saw everything they needed to do to sign the kid. So, I took him on. It's a smaller school guy, and I even, I wanted to kind of show him a little bit of a good life. So I took him to New Orleans one weekend. We partied a little bit, just had a little fun. So I really, and I had him actually stay in my home, and I remember on April 1st, within 30 days of the draft, I got a termination notice. No call, thinking that, this is somebody you let live in your house for a period of time. You took personal time. No call, no text, just an email termination letter. And I was like, wow, that was my first time. Was actually second time getting terminated, but that one kind of felt it felt tougher because when you put a lot of time into somebody like
Yeah.
that, and you're taking extra time to really kind of do a few extra things with him, for him to do it so cold, it wasn't a good feeling. But I tell you what, he lasted in training camp, and he ended up getting hurt and never got an NFL down again. So look, God always has the final say on situations like that. So
Yeah. You're right. So say a 7-year-old kid, came up to you. He was like, Mr. Corey, if I have a dream, how do I achieve it? What's your answer to them?
You know what? I will tell that young man or that young lady, first off, keep your head in the books, because no matter what achievements you want to have, as an athlete, always remember that until you actually get beyond college, you are always a student athlete. You're not an athlete first. You are a student athlete. So I would tell any young man, any young woman that, the first thing you got to do is stay in your books, and any free time that you have, work on your craft, where it's taking, shots, basketball shots, whether it's catching balls, from the machine, or whether it's hitting baseballs, or whatever may be the case. Your extra time, you want to continue to perfect your craft, become a better athlete, become faster, become more, more explosive, little things like that. But the main thing is, for that 7-year-old young man or that 7-year-old young lady, keep their head in the books, focus on that, and just create any other opportunity after that, to really work on their craft.
Huh. Huh. I like that. I like a piece of humble pie.
Exactly. A lot of kids think that they can make it, but I mean, and there are a lot of guys that don't get scholarships because they don't get the requisite credit, not credit score, the requisite ACT scores, or the requisite SAT scores. So don't feel like just because you're a 4-star athlete, you can't have, you better have at least a 70 or better in your classes, and you better do at least decently on those exams, so you can try to get a scholarship.
Yeah. Because there was some athletes, for instance, Chad Johnson, he's doing the podcast I'm Athlete,
Yep.
So with his grades were even, like, his grades were pretty terrible. He had to go JUCO. He went to Oregon State. So it's like, even though you have bad grades, you still have the opportunity to go to college. Just not, 4 year, but like 2 years.
Yeah. But that JUCO route is not as easy as people think, though. Everybody thinks, oh yeah, I'll just go JUCO and then I'll get a big offer. I mean, there's only so many scholarships they have. It's a limited pool of scholarships from their regular classes. So, it's, and then a lot of times they really just want you for a semester, or want you for, just so they can play you for that 1 year. And then, but sometimes that's all the players need to get the film, but that may not be always the case. Sometimes you may need that extra 2 years of refining to make sure you're playing at that level. So
yeah. Okay. So what athletes have you signed? Like,
So I guess our most notable athletes would be our fifth rounder, EJ Speed. He got drafted in the 2019 draft in the fifth round. Of course, this past year, he got his second special teams player of the week award. So he had a touchdown. He actually had two touchdowns this year.
Oh
He
wow.
had a touchdown against the Jaguars in that game that was a key pivotal touchdown. And then he also played extremely well, filling in for Darius Leonard whenever he got COVID at the Arizona Cardinals. And he was a starting linebacker that day and did extremely well and led the Colts to a win, although they fell a little bit short of the playoffs. He definitely played his role and did his job. And now he's going into his fourth year as an NFL player and looking to potentially cash in as an unrestricted free agent at the end of the 2022 season. We also have our quarterback, Felipe Franks. He actually, came in. Yeah. Yes, Gators and everything. So yeah, so he's and of course he transferred to Arkansas
Yeah.
for his for his graduate year and did extremely well at Arkansas. Got a great opportunity with the Falcons, and now he's worked himself up to the number 2 quarterback right behind Matt Ryan. So we believe in just growth and putting our guys in position, but definitely I would say that Felipe and definitely EJ have definitely already kind of put a stake out there, and we have a number of great other clients that are still working their way up in the 53 and stuff like that.
So would you collaborate, right? So the things that you're doing right now, you know, would you
Mm-hmm.
collaborate with other, I guess, podcasts and businesses?
We do, and we love. And another great question, Method Man. I mean, we actually have collaborative partnerships with a number of other agencies that are Black owned. We've partnered with HOF Sports. We've partnered with Ascension, ESE Firm, 300 Sports. So one of the biggest thing we believe is that as Black men, we should collaborate instead of compete. So we have some dynamic minds, some dynamic Black agents in this business that not only I lean to as for mentorship. I have one of my a couple of my mentors, Rodney Williams, Brian Overstreet with USG Group. I consider them great mentors to me because they've been in the business even longer than I have. But also, I feel like that I can be a mentor to some of these newer agents now that I'm 12 years in the game. So I kind of take pride in developing and helping agents become, better. Because for me, I still remember on October 1st, 2010, when I got certified, I sent an email to Kennard McGuire, who at that time represented Andre Johnson, Brandon Marshall, some big, big names. And, I just really wanted to learn. I just wanted the mentorship. And, today, January 27, 2022, I haven't received a response. So it let me know that that this business is very cutthroat. I wasn't looking to compete with Kennard. I was looking to learn. But now when another agent, approaches me, I can say, you know what? I really believe this, I can help this guy and not make some of the same mistakes that I made as a young
Yeah.
agent. So I take pride in taking people under my belt and helping them.
Okay. Oh wow. So it's kind of like a family affair with the other agencies and stuff like that.
Exactly. So we really, it's agents that we trust, that we are friends with. So it's not like, again, we're not competing, we're collaborating, and
Yeah.
many times we get a better clientele because we all have our different targets, and they don't need me to go after their target. I don't need them to go after a certain target either. And then after it's all done, we just collaborate and put together our draft class.
I like that, man. I really do. Man, like in this world, man, we're seeing a lot of our brothers and sisters killed.
Yeah,
We need a lot. We need this, man. We need more collaboration with Black owned businesses, man, and we
we
need
do.
more love because there's a lot of pain in this world too.
It is, Chris. I mean, that's why for us, we're really big on pushing not only, our being proud as Black-owned business owners for our Overtime Sports Management Group, but just to be able to tout that we love working and supporting other Black-owned businesses as well. That's big for us.
Yeah, man. Okay. So I'm just looking at my questions.
No, you're good. You take your
Okay.
time.
So what is the process for signing just any athlete?
Perfect. Another great question. So what happens is, again, after we get through the vetting process and we kind of find out what scouts think about a particular player, one, we're always going to be very transparent in sharing that feedback with that player. So whether they are sometimes it's some tough things that we have to share. I mean, sometimes players are considered rejects, and when they're a reject, that means they're not considered under the NFL scouts, guidance right now. They wouldn't be considered NFL prospects. And we've had to have some tough conversations with young men who were rejects. And we told them, like, look, you're going to have to do something extraordinary to change the decision of that area scout who put you as a reject. So whether that's a fast 40, a super, broad jump, or a super, high number on your 225, you have to do something extraordinary to kind of stand out. But once we get proper feedback and we get enough people that that are on board with a particular player, again, we're not just trying to sign any player, because again, we don't want to waste their time, we don't want to waste our time.
Mm.
So if we have a player that's a draftable guy, priority free agent, we'll go ahead and try to sign them. And then from there, it's an agreement called a standard representation agreement. That actually is what the players would sign, and that's what's sent to the National Football League Players Association. Because a lot of people think with the NFL, they think it's all under one brand. Well, the NFL itself represents the ownership, whereas the NFLPA represents all the players. So that's why so for us as NFLPA certified contract advisors, we're actually certified by the NFLPA, not by the NFL. So the biggest thing for us is, just like I say, making sure that we get the paperwork in to the NFLPA, and then the NFL, then they'll in turn send it to the NFL, and that way that shows that we are the point of contact for that particular player.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So how do you represent your clients, like whether it's a promotion deal or just, I guess, a read along with children?
Great question. So for us, we love creating multiple opportunities on and off the field. As an attorney, one of the bigger advantages I have is that I can navigate through the nonprofit world. We set up two nonprofits for our safety. PJ Locke, who's on the Denver Broncos, we set up Team Lockdown Texas, where he does football camps, and then we also did Team Lockdown Denver, Team Lockdown Colorado, where he can do events while he's with the Broncos. So we actually did the same thing for EJ and also for JT Hassel, who's coming back from injury. So one of the biggest things, like I say, is for us is, first off, get their nonprofit going, because one, not only are you giving back, but you're giving back and getting tax write-offs, because as NFL players, you're talking about kids going from barely being
Poverty.
able to buy a hamburger to being able to make $600,000-700,000 a year. So they need to have shelters for their money, so they don't end up going bankrupt early, or because you always hear the numbers about 75% of players within 5 years of their career become bankrupt. So we try to create as many off the field opportunities for those guys, so they don't get into that situation of becoming bankrupt.
Yeah, because I mean, I heard like I guess a lot of athletes, for instance, I guess Chuck Barkley and Michael Jordan, because back in the day, Michael Jordan, I don't know, Mr. Corey, if you saw The Last Dance,
Oh
right?
yeah, that was one of my favorites. Yes.
So like with MJ, he used to compete a lot and
Mm-hmm.
gamble, and then he lost a lot of money. But now I guess he invested it. He had some investors that had the right, I guess, tools to help him. You know,
Right, right. Well, not only that, he also had Jumpman. So when
yeah,
so
yeah,
that kind of gave him a lot of money too. So he
yeah.
actually was making much more off the field by the Jordan brand. And now, as they call it Jumpman, they don't call it Jordan, but still we know how it started in 1984 with the original Air Jordan. But yeah, that's the biggest thing too, is creating those opportunities off the field of play. I mean, for Felipe, case in point, we got him about $90,000 in endorsements as an undrafted player. So we're able to usually get a number of deals for our guys to create opportunities off the field. So that's big on what we try to do.
Wow. Well, this athlete that I grew up with, Christian Harris, Alabama, number
Okay.
8 linebacker. You gotta check him out.
I think I've seen him. He's in the 2022 draft, isn't he?
Yeah. 2022, because his draft stock, it kind of boosted up because N'Kobe, he had to get surgery.
Right.
Yeah. So
Yeah, I remember seeing him, and plus Alabama, they're always going to get, he's probably going to be first, second round, probably at worst. So yeah, I'm pretty sure he probably is first round. So because I remember his name when hearing it in the national championship game.
yeah, because you heard his name like I think his name was like 6 times. It was like Chris Harris, Chris Harris, Chris Harris. Then me and my dad were going crazy. So
Wow,
yeah, yeah. Me and him grew up together. So
that's awesome. That's
yeah,
awesome.
man. So what are you most proud of, just as a person and with this business?
That's another outstanding question, Chris. I mean, one thing for us, anytime a kid gets to join this elite fraternity known as a National Football League, whether they're drafted, whether they're undrafted, we take again. I mean, that's our proudest moment. Of course, I'll always remember being there when EJ got the call from the Colts. By far, if there was one moment that stood out in particular, it would be, when you get the call that you're getting drafted from a team, and then you really realize that all your dreams that you prayed and you worked for, it finally came manifesting into this one call. And I still have it recorded today, and we celebrate that draft anniversary. So that was big. But anytime our guys are getting an opportunity, whether they're signed as an undrafted free agent, whether they're drafted, whether they have a tryout, that's an opportunity to get in front of an NFL team and earn a contract. So I'm proud of the fact that that opportunity was created by, we helped to create that opportunity for that young man.
Wow. Okay. So let's flash forward, right?
Mhm.
Sure. Where you see ownership for our people?
So I'm hoping that ownership is going to continue to blossom for Black-owned businesses. My federal government job with the U.S. Small Business Administration, we've done a number of things with the COVID, and I know a lot of Black-owned businesses really were very much economically impacted, took severe hits, even had to close up their business. So I am hoping that through me we can continue to propel, support, build Black businesses. Um, but it's going to be tough. I mean, we're still not out of this COVID thing. And, after we get through Omicron variant, it's going to probably be another variant and more cases.
Yeah.
So it's just something I think we're going to be living with for the next, hopefully no more than 2 or 3 years. I mean, I'm fully vaccinated, booster, different things like that. but it's, every decision is a personal decision, and I would never tell anybody, oh, you have to do this, you have to do that. I'm just saying what I did, and I
Yeah,
encourage
yeah,
my players to do what's best for them, considering that NFL teams are requiring vaccinations. They are, and they
yeah,
may end up requiring this booster. So if you want opportunities to be in the NFL, you probably want to get vaccinated.
yeah,
It's, all I can say is that's what the NFL climate is. I'm not telling you you have to get vaccinated, but I'm just saying that if you want to get opportunities in the NFL, you may have to look at this vaccination process, because I know a lot of young athletes think, oh, I don't want to get vaccinated, I don't want to get vaccinated. But I'm like, you're gonna
it's your
bounce back
dream.
really fast. So don't worry if you end up getting the vaccination. Think you'll be fine.
Yeah, I mean, at the same time too, like this is your dream, man. Like it's there's no pros and cons to this. Either take the vaccine or go go to your parents' house.
That's right.
You
That's
got
right.
two options, man.
Yeah. And literally, Chris, I had a player, the Buffalo Bills had called him during the course of the season, and he wasn't vaccinated.
Oh,
And when you're unvaccinated, and you have a 5-day waiting period
yeah,
before you actually can work out. So literally, the difference between him being vaccinated and him being unvaccinated cost him a workout that may have led to a practice squad contract, may have put him on an active roster. You never know, but we'll never know. But he wasn't vaccinated, and they didn't call back. So that just like you said, do you want to be sitting at home, or do you want to potentially be competing for an NFL job? So any player that I come across, I say, look, this is the information. These are real life stories that I've come across. What take it however you want to take it.
oh, the Wi-Fi.
Oh, it
Yeah,
went out for a second. I saw it went black for a second. Yeah.
yeah. But man, like this is your dream.
Yeah.
Like there's no pros and cons, ifs, ands, or buts about it. Like you make the decision because I can't make it for you. I can only give you wisdom. That's it. you
That's
know.
it. That's it. And I try to give them all the information. And if whatever decision that they make, that's on them. And literally after I gave the information to my player that was with had the opportunity to work out for Buffalo, he literally sent me workout film afterwards, saying he's ready. I'm like, well, the team ain't ready for you. They ain't bring you in now. So your window went from open to close just like that
Yeah.
fast. So
Well, Mr. Corey, I had fun. With this
I
conversation.
did too. I did
You
too.
know.
I enjoyed it, Method Man.
Any collaborations, anytime that you want to come on the show, man. Just DM me. You got my Instagram, man, and yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. Now let me ask you a quiz question.
Okay.
So since you got the Method Man, so what song in the 90s
The rapping
did
method, man.
huh?
The well, I actually like I put Chris in front of it, and then I put like with Method Man. Well, I left it, but I'll have man with two ends.
Ah, okay. So you
Yeah.
don't. So do you even know about I'm sure your dad told you about the
No,
original
no,
Method Man.
I know about the Method Man. He was on I think he was on Power, I think, and he was a rapper too. Did a song
Yeah,
with
yeah,
Mary
he
J. Blige.
was. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Listen to some of his stuff. I think you'll like it.
So hopefully, like by God's grace, if I become a millionaire, hopefully he doesn't sue me.
Right. No, he won't sue you. No. And don't say if, you say when. Speak into
When
existence.
you're right.
When look, you're doing all the right things. Keep doing what you're doing, Chris. Very proud of you with your podcast, and anything I can do, I'll be more than happy to be a part of.
Appreciate it, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You have a great night.
Right, you too.
All right. Bye-bye.
Guys, that was a good interview, man. That was Mr. Corey from Osmg LLC. It's a sports agency, black owned sports agency, baby. So, guys, I'm your host, Chris the Method Man. Y'all stay blessed. Love you guys. Peace. I'm out.